First and foremost, first rule, when all this stuff is connected, you cannot back up. If you can't do an inch, you can't do 3 inches, you can't go 6 inches, you're gonna bend the toolbar, it's another $1,000. All right? That being said, the toolbar itself is just the way you see it. When you get it to release, you pull this down here, toolbar will come down, you know, you connect it. When you're done using it, obviously push it right back together, you go straight up back into that hole. As long as it's in the hole, you go over to each, whatever side you like.
Okay.
Okay? That's the stowed position. That's how it's going to stay on there. It's not going to jump out of there. It's not going to fall. It's not going to drag.
So you don't have to take it off.
No, that's why we put locks. You never have to touch. The only thing that's going to come off are the cables.
Okay.
All right? Me showing you how to do all of this stuff probably going to take 15, maybe 20 minutes, max, okay? Once you do this 2 or 3 times, you're going to be able to do this in 5 minutes, maybe less. All right, you're gonna obviously be going to RV parks. Okay, you're gonna see these street signs that are gonna say, "Oh, we have the widest streets for turning, so on and so forth." You're also gonna see a long parking spot where you can pull over to disconnect. Just pull over and disconnect.
Right.
It's gonna be 5 minutes of your time. It's gonna save you a lot of headache in the long run.
So don't drive through the park trying to get to your spot. Do it before.
Yeah, I've done this. I've done all the mess ups, all the mistakes. I've done all the bad stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna show you everything and give you tips and tricks to make this easy for you. It's supposed to be fun, exciting, not give you anxiety.
Right.
Okay, so. The reason is that when you get into these parks, okay, let's say you want to make a turn and you can't make the turn, but now you can't back up.
Right.
Now when you're jackknifed like this, there's so much tension on these pins, you're never going to get them out.
Okay.
Now you're out there with a hammer trying to beat the pins out, you're blocking the traffic, there's people behind you, the neighbors are pissed off, turns into a fiasco. That's what I'm saying, just take the car off, it's going to save you a lot of headaches. Jump in the car, the keys are in it, I just want you to back up a couple feet, and I'm going to pull you forward and just stop when I tell you to. Turn the car off, but don't get out. Pick up the hood or the rim of the steering wheel, and you line it up with a mark, whether it's the bottom of the license plate, this ridge here, this line, just some kind of mark as a reference point. You'll know every time you do this, when you line those 2 points up, you're the right distance you need to be. If not, you're in, you're out, you're back and forth, turns to a headache. Like I said, a bunch of little tricks to make it easy for you. Okay? Like if you sit in the car, have your wife just, you know, put a pinstripe, and you know dead on when you line those 2 points up, you're good to go.
What scenario would I ever take this off? Like
if you're not towing the car, you want to put a bike rack, you want to pull a trailer.
Okay. So when I'm not towing the car, I could still leave that on, right? I could leave that. I could drive with that, obviously, right?
That's why I was showing you the stowed position. It won't jump out of that position. It won't
Right.
fall out. You leave. You never.
Let's
If you're
just
never
leave
gonna,
it
if you're,
on.
if you're never
So
gonna,
heavy. It's
yeah,
so heavy. I don't know
if
why.
you're
I
never
have to
gonna
take
pull a
it
trailer, you're never gonna use a bike rack. You never have to touch these things.
Right.
Just do me a favor. These rubber caps, try to make sure they stay on. Because when they get off, they get corroded inside, and then you can't get it off when you need to get it off.
Okay.
Good handcuff.
Alrighty. So.
And this connects the light.
Yeah, the wiring. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So these pins here, I leave these on so you can see them. You'll see people that leave these on the cars. Don't leave them on the car. And that little toolbox I was telling you about, just take them off, put them in the toolbox. Do people steal these? How easy they come out?
Yeah.
$50 each.
Okay.
So, you know, take them off. Don't leave them on. But anyway, to put them in, you put them in holes straight up and down. Push them in, twist and locks. Just make sure they're in there. To get them to release, you pull the key ring, twist it, and they come right out. Okay? But like I said, people wait for you to go in the store or go inside, and then you'll come out and they're gone.
Okay, good.
All right? First thing we do is going to make our pin connections here. These pins were kind of rusty, so I wire wheeled them. I cleaned them up.
Thank you.
All right, so basically very simple stuff here. Just going to line up the holes. Just line them up like that. Just goes over the top, fold over, locks into place. All right, go ahead and give that side a shot.
Turn. It's just like.
He has to pull out some.
Let's see.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
Does it matter which way?
Oh, no, it has to go in, yeah, with the hole going out towards the other holes. There you go. Perfect.
There.
The other way, the other way.
Other way.
Spin around. Yeah, like that.
Like this way?
Yep.
Okay, and
Yep,
then
just
this.
like that. Perfect.
and then-
Perfect.
and then-
Okay, now listen. A lot of people, when they're first towing and they go to take off, you get in the coach, you go to pull off, you're gonna hear a clunk or clunk, clunk, two big, booms. Don't get it. A lot of people hear that, oh, something broke, I don't want to tow. All that is these arms extending and locking into place.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's normal. Oh, yeah, a lot of people say, I think something's wrong. No, they're supposed to do that.
Okay.
They'll extend, they'll lock out. When you go to disconnect, these here, you gotta go up and down. You just pull them up and it'll unlock them, so take the tension off the pins. So
Okay.
you can get them out easier, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But like I said, in that jackknife scenario, you can pull these all day, you're never gonna get the tension off those pins, okay?
Okay.
All right, next thing we're gonna do is gonna be our safety cables. These are going to crisscross under the tow bar, similar to a trailer, okay? So they're coiled so that they don't sag, all right? But over time, they're gonna sag from the weather, the sun, and everything else.
Does is in the event this fails,
Yes.
that just holds on to
Yeah,
the
they're
car.
safety cables.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Okay.
So what I like to do is, once I get them nice, I like to at least leave 2 or 3 of them. And then what I do is I go over the top of the tow bar one time, like that.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll come over and I'll connect it to the base plate. So this one's kind of a pain to get to.
Okay.
Okay. Same thing with this side. Like I said, same
Two of
thing.
those.
Yep. Just go over the top one time, come back, make your connection. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is gonna be our electrical cable over the top of the tow bar. Okay. If you look very closely here, you'll see there's a keyway on the top of the plug that always goes up. Put it in. Just make sure it seats. Drop it down. Okay. This is our breakaway cable. Doesn't look like it. This thing stretches 10 feet. So if all this stuff breaks, this will be the last thing to break.
Really?
Right? What this does, you hook it here to this key ring, it pulls a little pin out. All right? That's in case you lose the car. It'll pull the pin out so the brakes lock up so the car doesn't pass you on the highway.
Oh,
All right?
wow.
So you just connect it here onto the key ring. A little tight in here. But when you're disconnecting everything, if you pull it out, it's gonna lock the brakes up. No big deal. Just put it back in and disconnect from the key ring, okay?
Okay.
And that's basically how you're gonna set it up every single time. No, when you go to disconnect all of this stuff, make sure you take the car out of tow mode because it'll be in neutral. And if you disconnect everything, the car can roll away. Now you're chasing the car down the road.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. So you're all set up now. You're ready to go. As a favor to me, I would like for you guys to always do a once around. By once around, I mean have somebody stand behind the car, somebody go in the coach and work the lights. Running lights, left turn, right turn, brake, thumbs up in the rear view just to make sure everything's going. Because DOT can pull you over if your lights are not working. But if DOT pulls you over if your lights ain't working, they're either having a really bad day or they're just assholes. In either case, it's not a good scenario when you're trying to leave on a trip.
Yeah.
This is the brake system control unit itself. All right, this is what actually takes the brakes and everything and works the cylinder and it all comes through here. Basically, this fuse holder is for the brake system, okay? We use the red fuse holder because it symbolizes brake, stop, red light, so brake system, red fuse, okay? If the brake system ever does not work, you always want to check this fuse. It's a little, little 20 amp.
Okay, 20 amp.
Very simple, you get those at any corner store.
Yep.
Okay? This here is the charge kit, all right? So what this does is just one wire going to your battery, there's another wire going to the plug. Your coach puts out a 12-volt power source, which charges this battery, okay? The reason we need to keep this battery charged is, remember the breakaway I told you if you pull that pin?
Yep.
That works off of the car battery.
Got it.
So if the battery goes dead and you pull the pin, the brakes are not gonna lock up, the car's gonna pass you on the highway. So that's why we put a charger in there, make sure that this battery always has a power source. Little rundown on this brake system itself. This brake system does not work off of one simple signal as far as hitting the brakes. It takes two signals for them to engage. The first signal arms the brake system, lets it get ready for when you're gonna stop. That signal is gonna be your brake lights. So when your brake lights come on, the system arms itself. The second signal is going to be the inertia, the feeling of slowing down. Once the system feels that inertia, then it will assist you and it'll push the brakes down. If it does not feel that inertia, it will not engage. So if you're doing like 10 miles an hour and you're creeping or crawling to a stop, the brakes might not engage. It needs to feel that inertia in order to assist you. Okay, so if you're going real slow and the brakes don't come on, don't be afraid. It's like I said, it's an assist brake system.
Now,
okay?
if it's just a question, if it didn't have a brake system, what happens? Like this would go,
Well, number one, if you didn't have any brakes, it was going to wear down the brakes on the coach.
Okay. Because
Number two, if it breaks, it's going to be all over. It'll be a rolling tombstone.
right.
You know what I mean?
But if it did, what I'm just thinking, if somehow the brakes system didn't work, normally everything would be fine. But obviously I got to get it fixed. But it's not like automatically it's a catastrophic problem, right? Like I'm just wondering, going down the road, I stop this will stop, but after a while, like you said, the brakes will wear out.
On the coach, yeah.
Okay.
Because you're stopping more pressure.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna feel this thing when you're pulling it.
Right.
You're not gonna know it's behind you unless you look in the rear view. Okay. So right now, like I was telling you, this thing works off the two signals. Okay. Right now I have the hazards on. Okay. So the hazards on there show as hazards. On the car, they show as brake lights. So I'm going to use those just to show you. I set this thing at medium for every customer. 99% of the people I set it for never have to touch it again. But I want to show you how it works in case you want to make an adjustment for the way you drive, okay? It's kind of tight, so I need you to kind of crouch down in here with me. Okay. So there's an on and off switch, obviously on, off. So that's going to be on. Over here, you'll see a knob, okay? So that knob goes up and down as far as adjustment, okay? Now it turns righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. That's to lock it in place so it doesn't go up and down. Okay. So the way we set this is first you loosen it so it can move up and down. Okay. And then down is more sensitive. So you got to imagine like hitting a brake pedal. The farther down you push it, the more brake you're going to get. So the way I do it, I bring it down, I increase the sensitivity until it picks up those brake lights.
Okay.
See, so it's going off of the hazards right now. Okay, so wherever it starts doing that, in the very top setting, you put it right in the middle. That's a medium setting.
Okay.
All right, that's the way I said it, like I said, for everybody. Yeah, obviously, if you think it's not, you want more brake or less brake, you can make your own adjustment. But once I set it, like I said, usually 99% of people never have to touch it.
Okay.
So let me just set it real quick.
So normally I don't have to touch anything you're dealing with.
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
Unless there's an adjustment needed.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So that's basically it on that end. There's everything else. The last thing we're gonna do is put this in tow mode. I'm gonna go inside real quick. I want to print you out a paper of the instructions so you have a hard copy for yourself.
beautiful.
Oh, okay.
It says it in your owner's manual, but I hate those little pages, so I'm gonna make you something that you can keep with you. Okay. But if you want to just read through this, it's very simple. I highlighted the procedure to put it into tow mode and to take it out. It's very simple. It's the same thing I just told you.
You're talking about the car?
Yeah.
So
You
the
just turn
car,
it
you
on,
have to
put it-
put it. Can you repeat what you said
Yeah,
about?
you just turn the car on, you put it into neutral.
Neutral.
Right? Then you turn the ignition off where the engine turns off. It'll stay in accessory mode. But you just make sure the radio's off, make sure the AC's off. Anything that doesn't be on, just make sure it's off. And that's how you tell.
Oh, okay.
But that's why, since it's gonna stay in that mode, you need to make sure the battery gets charged. I don't want you to get there, disconnect, and then your car's dead. All right?
So do I need to leave the key in the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if not, it'll turn off.
Okay.
And it needs to stay in accessory mode.
Oh.
But it's very simple. When you pull over, you just, if you're gonna stop to eat, you get out, take the key out, lock it.
Right.
Make
Don't
sure
leave
it's
the
off.
key in
Yeah,
there.
just turn it
So
off,
I'm
lock it.
yeah.